Hello again, friends. It's us. We're doing another episode, obviously, because you're here. And I don't think we're going to need to do too much of the small talk opening since we literally just started recording again.
Yeah.
But I do have an idea, like a subject.
Uh-oh.
And I think it's something we can all kind of relate to.
Oh, I hope so.
But, yeah, are we enjoying what we're doing? Is this fun?
Absolutely.
This is fun, yeah.
Hopefully everybody else who's listening is enjoying it also.
Yeah, I really do. I really hope so. So I do actually have a subject, because I thought about this during the last one.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
And again, since I'm the one who came up with it, I'll start off if you want me to.
Okay.
Give us all time to think of our stories.
Man.
Well, you know.
Let's see.
The subject is basically just a statement. Our subject for our stories today are, I may have fucked up.
Ooh.
Which is something that I know well.
Oh.
And I have a couple stories about this, but I think I'll start with the one that sticks with me the most.
Okay.
And essentially the idea is something that you screwed up really bad and may or may not have fixed, but actually just something where you had that moment where you're just like, oh, I probably shouldn't have done that. So, yeah, I'll start.
I'll have to think about it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
This is a
good
good theme going with the last one, because I'm thinking, wow, that's kind of what I thought on some of the ones.
Yeah, that's kind of where a lot of this came from. So, I'm going to start this story. Set your time machines, because we're going way back. We're going back to like the mid-2000s. So like 2004, 2005 maybe.
Ew.
I was roughly, I'd say around high school. This was before we moved here. So I still lived in Thibodeau.
Yeah, I was about to be a freshman, so...
Yeah, I'm assuming it's the right year. I'm not good with these things. But it's around that time. Now I think, because, you know, teenager, I'm the smartest guy who ever lived. Which is wrong. But...
Yes, learn from our mistakes.
Yes.
Do not believe yourself on that one.
We had a couple of things going for us. We had broadband internet, which in the apartments where I lived at the time was fun to hook up because that was before the idea of making sure your phone jack was where your computer desk was. So we had to run a cable all the way around the room to get to it.
Oh my.
So extra fun. So we had the little high speed. We had Bell South high speed. That tells you what date it was. Yeah. I had a Dell Dimension, I forget which one it was. It wasn't like a 4500. I think it might have been like the one below it.
I know which ones you're talking about. I don't remember the number, but
it's an okay-ish machine. Played Red Faction and stuff like that pretty good.
Okay.
So it was an okay machine. But more than that,
Oh,
I had high-speed internet. I was a little juvenile delinquent high school kid. I had figured out how it is a fella before the years of YouTube was to get his music, which involved LimeWire.
Computer aids back in the day, basically.
How do you want to break your computer? Get LimeWire.
That's it.
So,
I think I know where this is going.
yeah, I had this, and I was downloading music, and back in the day they would do things where like people would intentionally fuck up the file, so you wouldn't know that the audio was bad until you downloaded it because you couldn't preview it.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I can get a whole album in a couple of seconds. Oh, no. This took several, minutes, sometimes 10, 20 minutes to get a single song. It was high speed. I didn't say it was fast. So...
There's a big difference.
Oh, yeah. And LimeWire like to put a lot of extra stuff on your computer, too, while they're at it.
Oh, yes.
Because it was totally a virus-laden program. Well, I didn't know that. I just thought I was getting stuff for free. So I'm downloading, my Linkin Park and my other, early 2000s stuff because I'm so cool. You're Slipknot and what have you.
Yeah.
I've got all this stuff and I'm doing this and I got all my stuff and I'm happy. This is cool.
Of course.
I'm the one who mostly uses this computer, even though it was the family computer, because, my sister was very young at the time, didn't really use it.
Yeah.
And my mom wasn't super internet savvy, didn't really care about that kind of stuff. Used it from time to time, checked email, stuff like that. Didn't really use it all the time. I finished downloading my music. I've got a CD burner, which means I'm extra cool.
Yeah.
So I make my mixed CDs, which is my habit at the time, which is I was forever trying to scam up money to go buy packs of CDs because you got to have 500 mixed CDs.
That's right.
So I have all this stuff. I make my little mix CD. I decided I'm going to go back, play some video games, my headphone, be the badass that I am in the middle of the night, whatever. Done talking to my friends on AOL Instant Messenger and Yahoo Messenger. Yeah, right?
Yeah, boy.
Those days. Turn the computer off. No problem.
Mm-hmm.
Next day, I think it's No, I did have to go to school. So I went to school, still nobody's messed with the computer, come home. I'm always the first one to get home.
Mm-hmm.
So I've decided, you know what? I'm going to do this. I am ready. I'm going in there. I'm going to get on my computer. It's going to be a good afternoon. There's nobody around. I'm going to play video games, turn the computer on.
Nope.
Blue screen of death.
Ooh.
Your physical memory is over-allocated. The hard drive has been purged.
Oh.
The entire system is blank.
Oh.
I may have fucked up.
May have.
I am internally screaming because this thing is, for my knowledge at the time, dead. I broke the whole computer. We're going to have to get a new computer. I don't have this money. I am convinced it's dead. Reality is, they come with the CD, put it in there, press the button, it'll reinstall. It's fine. I didn't know this.
No,
So-
you were a delinquent.
Yeah.
Teenager,
So I call my neckbeard friend at the time, who I thought was good with computers. He was the one who told me about LimeWire, so that tells you how good he is with computers.
Ah,
The secret
yeah.
is his dad is actually good with the computers.
Ah, there it is.
So I'm like, I don't know what to do. I think I broke it. Everything's bad, and I'm scared. And he's like, hold on, let me get my dad. He knows this. He's just like, and he's like, do you have a disc that came in the thing? And it's like, yeah. And it's like, what does it say? So I read off, and he's like, does it say restore disk? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, we'll just put that in and do this, and I'll install. So I did. It reinstalls the whole thing. I'm trying to get all our stuff back because I didn't realize it destroyed everything. Wiped the hard drive completely blank. So I'm installing stuff. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. But I don't remember all the stuff that my mom had on there.
Yeah.
And I don't want her to know I broke the computer.
Right.
So I install all my stuff. I don't remember what she has on there. All I have is my stuff there. I create the little profiles because it's Millennium Edition.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
real good. Extra good because I'm Millennium Edition and I put LimeWire on it, so you can. I'm really batting 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
So she gets home, decides she has to check her email. None of the autofill stuff works because it's been blanked. So she's like, "What happened to the computer?" And in my moment of sheer brilliance, I should have just immediately been like, "I don't know. I think I broke it. Whatever. But I fixed it. It's okay." Because you're a teenager and your immediate thing is don't get blamed because you're in trouble.
Yeah.
So I just went, we had a hacker. And
Cue 90s music.
yeah, he hacked into our computer and he deleted all the stuff. So I go off on this whole thing about how I had to fix all this, and it's like, but it's okay because I fixed it and I got rid of the hacker. And my mom listens to this whole thing and then looks at me dead in the face and just goes, "You broke the computer, didn't you?" It's like, yeah. It's like, well, I'm not gonna punish you because you fixed it, but next time just tell me the truth. Okay.
You tried to be invincible. It didn't work.
Yeah, I tried though. We had a hacker. It was, oh man.
You know that doesn't work.
I have several, if I'm being completely honest with you, I may have fucked up stories specifically revolving around the internet because our generation was the ones who grew up from dial-up into high-speed internet, which means we got to see the evolution of social media and everything from there, and we absolutely fucked it up repeatedly.
Yeah.
But I'll open the floor. Does anybody else have a I may have fucked up story?
Again, the last episode, there seems to be so many that were the same way. Like, oh crap, I shot my brother in the stomach with a BB gun.
Yeah.
I thought I really...
Well, I'll give you guys some time to think if you need to. I can tell you another one.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Do you have one, or do you want me to go ahead?
It's not there.
Okay, I'll go ahead. So another one of these moments. Most of you on this channel know my friend Bubs. He's been in a couple episodes. We've done stuff together. You guys know him. You've met him.
We miss him.
Great guy, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when I want to say I had to have been just out of high school because I had a car at that point.
Okay.
I had a 94 Nissan Sentra, which was an interesting ride. I learned so much about that car. I also learned that my mom didn't do any maintenance on it for the better part of almost 6 years, so
Ooh.
I had to do a lot of work to fix that car.
Of
You
course,
remember, you were there.
Yeah, I was there.
It was fun.
We learned a lot, all
Yeah,
things
yeah.
considered, both of us.
So, I had to get all this work done on that, but I took it and went to Bub's place for the holidays one time. It was around New Year's, and he, yeah, you might know this story.
I think I might remember this.
So, we decided, because where he was living at the time was down this road, and right next to it was a sugarcane plant. Now, to explain, when companies around Thibodeau in that area decide they're done with the plants and they don't want to use them anymore, they're supposed to disassemble or whatever and then demolish the plant. Most of the time, they just fucking leave them there because it's cheaper to let them rot. So, this thing has been empty for about 6 years. There's nobody there. There hasn't been anybody there. Nobody's going in there. None of this is happening. So, we have fireworks. And there are all these like big storage tanks full of just rainwater at this point. And we have this little dynamites that'll burn even if you throw them underwater, little fireworks. So we're throwing them in there and they're going way down. And just boom, and all these bubbles will come up.
Yeah.
And we're just, being stupid kids. And while we're walking around looking at this place, and we have the brilliant idea. This place has a bunch of windows. I have a BB gun.
Oh boy.
So, we decide to shoot out every fucking window that we can with BBs until they break and they just shatter and fall all over the place. And then we did. We spent 2 days doing this because there were so many, and we just, a little pump action BB
Not
gun.
thinking about it.
No, we're just throwing fireworks, blowing stuff up, just shooting out windows. There's barely anybody on this road to begin with, so there's nobody there. Nobody knows anything about it. We're just fucking around with stuff. About a day or so after that, we go somewhere for, I think we're going to a friend's place and stayed overnight. And we get back, Pups' dad is like, so, did you guys go to the sugarcane plant the last couple days? It's like, yeah. And he's like, okay, you're going to want to not go there for the next few days. I'm like, why? And it's like, well, somebody called the sheriff. And they said that a couple of kids broke all the windows. He said, no, we didn't tell them it was you, obviously. He said, but they are looking for you. So we were just like, oh shit, we had to lay low for a few days.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, we kind of did that, but it was so long ago now that, fuck it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Plus, they tore the plant down, so it doesn't matter anymore.
Oh, man.
Still.
But yeah, we may have done that.
Whoopsie.
Oh, man.
And it was at that moment we realized I may have fucked up.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Okay, I've got one. It's kind of on the mild side, but it was me and my brother and a couple other of the kids that we were going to church with at the time, and we all went to go see a movie. Don't ask me what the movie it was because I don't remember to save my life. But we were in that little Suzuki Sidekick that I had.
Yes.
So, and that little thing. All things considered, it would get it, but it was pretty nice for $1,000 as a teenager.
Yeah, yeah.
We're in the Hammond area, which isn't too far from here.
Oh yeah.
And I'm going down the street, the 4-lane road that goes to college.
Yes.
Well, we had just turned on. We're headed toward the interstate, and we were kind of swerving back and forth a little bit because everybody was being rowdy in the back seat, and I'm like, hey, y'all chill, don't throw stuff around there. And I'm kind of swerving around, stupid teenager, right?
Oh yeah.
There's the blue lights in the back.
Oh no.
I'm getting pulled over. They think I'm drunk. This is going to be horrible. I'm about to do a sobriety. I am freaking the hell out the whole time. I'm like, oh God. So I pull over. We're in the little gas station parking lot, basically. And it's not the new one. It was the one further up.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm sitting there. My hands are on the wheel, white knuckled. I'm like, oh shit. And all the other kids that are in the car are quiet. Like, you can hear a pin drop.
Oh, yeah.
Cop comes up. He's looking inside the car, lighting it, and immediately I know he knows what's going on. He's like, "Oh, these kids are high on something or drunk." I'm so getting sobriety. He looks at me, and he's like, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" "No, sir, I sure don't." Like thinking I know why you pulled me over. He's like, "Oh man, you got a headlight out. You need to go get that fixed." So I was like, oh, thank you. Yeah. I was like,
You were just like, oh
I
my
was
god.
like, oh yeah. I didn't even know.
Yeah,
Thank
totally,
you so much for
okay.
telling me. Yeah. And he's like, y'all be careful. Where y'all headed? Oh, where I live. This town over that way. Oh yeah, I know some people. I got some cousins up there. Yeah, y'all take the back roads. Don't get on the interstate that light out. Y'all be careful. Whole time I'm freaking out until he says the light that your headlight's out, and immediately just like my heart goes from 100 miles an hour to like, oh, I'm not going to jail.
Yeah.
That was like the second time I ever got pulled over, but because I actually thought I did something wrong. The other time I thought I messed up, I was at that Pontiac Bonneville.
Oh, yes.
I got pulled over also in the small little town that I grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
And I'm going down one of the side streets, and I run a stop sign because I wasn't paying attention.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh crap, there's the blue lights immediately. And I'm like, I'm going, that's it, I'm getting a ticket, I'm getting my license suspended, I'm going to be punished. I just got my driver's license, so I thought I was getting grounded. Cop gets out of the car. Again, he's looking all in the back seat, and it's like, and he's looking at me in the back seat. And now, being older, I know what happened. He saw this old green Pontiac Bonneville, and I'm just going to say it raced his mind trigger because he thought a black person was driving that car. That's all there was to it. And he sees this white kid in
little
it.
white,
Yeah.
small town cops around here, they do that shit.
Yeah, especially that one. Of course, I mean, it's typically, there were more black people in that town, so I can kind of see that. Nonetheless, white cop, kind of, so this is stereotypical.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, he's looking at me, looking at the back seat, looking at me, looking at the back seat. So finally he says, do you know why I pulled you over? And again, I'm like, no, sir, I don't know what happened.
What happened?
He's like, you were doing 30 and a 25. Oh, okay, if that's what you say, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thumbs up. I didn't run a stop sign, So cop writes me a ticket. As he's handing me a ticket, I'm still thinking I'm getting my license suspended or grounded from my mom and dad. And he's like, where do you go to church? I'm like, this one up the street. Do you know Miss So-and-so over there? Yeah, I know her. Give her the ticket. She'll take care of it for you. Next Sunday, I walk in there, walk straight up to her. I said, hey, a friend of ours said to give this to you. She looked at it. She said, don't worry, honey. I'll take care of this for you.
Oh, well, there you go.
Now, if you want to talk about white privilege, that is one of the few moments I had white privilege.
God.
Okay?
Very much, yeah.
No, that's actually small town privilege. I joke about it, but seriously, I mean, he knew me, and I know what happened, but yeah, I thought I really royally effed up on those 2 times. Now, again, not major F up, but I thought I messed up with my parents, and I was going to
Oh, yeah, no. Do you have one? You still need to think.
I mean, I'm that's the thing, like, you guys are juvenile kids.
Yeah, we're bad.
Okay,
No offense, no offense.
Okay, hold on.
I mean, I was. I totally
got one.
get it.
I got one more cop story, basically, but it's from when I was adult.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So here we go.
You raised it that way.
So I started a business back in 2016, and I literally started with nothing. I basically just said, I'm quitting my job, I'm going to start my business. One of my first customers was out in the middle of nowhere, and I was working for him, and I had to get out of there about 4 o'clock so I could meet another new potential customer for right at 5. I literally had an hour to get there, and that's how long it took to get from point A to point B. Well, I left 20 minutes late. So I'm flying on this back road.
Oh, man.
And I mean, 55 miles an hour is maximum. I'm probably doing 80, 85.
Ooh.
I'm flying. In this little truck, I'm going up hills, and I'm like Dukes of Hazzard style going deck down it. If I had my Dixie horn, probably would have been going off. And then all of a sudden, I come up this one hill, and as I'm coming back down, there's a state trooper. And immediately, woo! Lights, sirens, the whole 9 yards. And that was it. My heart dropped. I'm like, crap. I'm not going to make it to the place on time. I'm about to get my license revoked. They're going to tow it because, after 20 miles an hour, they can just take you to jail.
Oh, yeah.
So again, I thought I'd royally screwed up. Pull over. I'm sitting there. I'm like, all right, I got to own up to this. I'm an adult. We'll just have to deal with it, whatever.
Yeah, it's different when you're a teenager.
That's right. So comes up. He's looking at me. He's like, do you know why I pulled you over? I said, yes, sir. I know why you pulled me over. He said, what happened? I said, look, I know I wasn't doing the speed limit. I know I was doing really fast. I'm just starting my business. I'm trying to do a lot of things. I'm under a lot of pressure. I'm trying to make it to this place at a certain time. And he looks at me, takes my license information. He goes back to his car. He comes back a minute later. He said, were you wearing your seatbelt? I don't know if I was, officer. He said, are you sure about that? Were you wearing your seatbelt? On second thought, I don't think I was wearing my seatbelt. Here you go. Here's your seatbelt ticket. Be careful out there. Make sure you don't break the speed limit. And I don't ever want to see you again. Yes, sir.
Yeah, there you go.
So I did get a seatbelt ticket, so there was a fine. And I tell you what, from that day up until pretty recently, I haven't broken 70 in any of my vehicles because I'm not getting a ticket.
I don't blame you.
No.
And hopefully nobody will ever recognize, and that cop won't ever be like, see, he told that story, I gotta go get him now or something. But state trooper, they don't play around.
No.
So the fact that I got lucky on that.
Yeah.
I do have one. I know this is kind of deviating a little bit, but it's a police story. And the worst one is, the way my stuff is registered is a long, arduous task, but we'll get into that.
Yes.
So, I wasn't speeding or anything. And I think the cop thought that I had maybe taken the turn too sharp in my truck. I didn't, but whatever. I'm gonna pull over. Little town cops, sometimes they do stuff.
Sometimes they're just bored.
And I'm already in a bad place when this happens because he's like, okay, I need your license, your insurance, and your registration. It's like, okay, here we go. And so I give it all to him, and I know.
You're like shaking.
Yeah, I know where this is about to go because my truck at the time was still under my grandmother's name because she was the one who still owned it. The insurance was under my aunt's name because she had power of attorney, and now that she's paying it, it all had to be swapped over to her. Yep. And my license is under my name, and none of us have the same last name. So, I'm watching this in the rearview mirror because I watched this poor cop take all these papers, go back, pull up his computer, and then as soon as he looks at them, I see him do the thing, goes back and forth, and he's looking again, and it's just like, I can't hear him, but I know he's just like, what the fuck? And he's just like, what? And he's like running it through the thing, and he's like going back and forth, and I'm watching this poor man do this, and what is usually like a, let me check, make sure you have anything, it's like 5 minutes, he's back there, I'm not kidding, for 15 minutes going through each one of them, just like, wow. But that's, is it? And it's, right?
He's pulling up your family tree, he's got this badge, what the hell? Who is this person related?
Oh man, he goes through the whole thing, and then he comes back, and he's still just as perplexed, and he's like, okay, this looks alright, and I'm just like, do I need to explain? And he's like, yeah, and I was like, okay, Can I get out of the vehicle? And he's like, I mean, you don't have to. And I was like, no, put the tailgate down. This is going to take a minute. So
hold on, boss. I got a story for you.
And I know he has a dash cam, so this exists somewhere.
Yeah.
Because he's wearing a body cam, so this is all getting recorded. So I was like, no, I'm serious. Go ahead. You're gonna want to sit down for this. And it's like, okay, so this is my grandfather's truck, but he passed away. Naturally, don't get any ideas. Like, but it's my grandmother's, and now she's got dementia, but she can't actually drive, so my aunt ended up to go through the whole thing. And I was like, but it's my... And it's like, y'all don't have that. And it's like, no, my aunt, she's married somebody else. And it's like, my mom is she's the one who has this. And it's like, well, who's your mom? And I tell him the name. It's like, that's not the same last name. It's like, yeah, I know, she got remarried too. He was like, I was going to give you a ticket. I don't even want to deal with this anymore. I was like, I totally understand. I feel that. Yeah. It's like, you don't want to deal with it. I live with it.
Oh, that's
eventually
great.
he was just like, just go home. And I was like, okay, I'll see you later.
Gosh.
Every now and then, because it was, I forget if it was, I think it was running around here, and I think that guy quit. Or he retired or something, but every now and then I'd see him and he would give me the same look every time. It's like, it's that fucking guy again. I know!
I'm not pulling him over here.
Yeah. And I always wondered if he was still working, because I would really hate, like now, because my truck has to go into the shop and I'm having to use my mom's car to go places, I really would hate to be that poor cop if he pulled me over in that one. He's like, I need to see your license. And, fuck me.
Not this guy. Not again.
Hi. Just leave. I'm like, okay.
Alright, well, I got one that's not my personal story, but it happened to my family. This is another good cop story.
We kind of shifted perspective.
I kind of noticed that. Yeah. Because I got no cop
Well, let's say,
stories.
if you roll it effed up, there's a good chance the cops are going to be involved. So, my mom, again, there were 6 of us growing up, so my mom was a little frazzled, raising 6 kids and everything. One morning, we left really late, and we had a 30-minute drive to school. Well, we left at like 7:15. We need to leave at 7. We're on the road going to the school, and it's a back road. Nobody's almost ever on it. It's very rare. My mom is doing 90 on this back road. The most you should probably do on this back road is 45.
Ooh, yeah.
She gets blue lights behind her. She gets pulled over. It's not a local sheriff. It's not a local cop. It's not even the state police. It is DOT, weights and standards.
Oh.
How do you realize how bad you have to screw up to get pulled over by weights and standards?
Whoa.
This dude pulls over and he's like, "Ma'am, do you realize what I can do?" All the kids are loaded down this minivan. Okay, we're all strapped up and we're all like ghost-eyed. You could tell we were all freaking out.
Okay.
And it wasn't because of the cop. It's because my mom was driving like a bat out of hell.
Yeah.
And he's looking at us. He's looking at my mom, and he's like, "Slow down, ma'am. It is too." She didn't get a ticket. I don't know how the hell she didn't get a ticket. The dude was just like, "Slow down. You don't need to be going that fast." But like, how
It's
the hell?
because of the kids.
Well, evidently, but still, I mean, I don't know what my mom was thinking going that fast. But yeah, she got pulled over by weights and standards. She's the only person in a regular vehicle that I know of to ever get pulled over by weights and standards.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, she royally effed up. That wasn't a maybe. She did.
I might actually, since you're having trouble thinking of one, I might actually...
I think I might have one, but go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead if you want to tell your story.
Alright, so this is kind of... It might be a little messed up, but...
Go for it.
Go for
I
it.
have another topic for another one.
Alright, so, this is like, okay, so I didn't really have, like, too much of a allowed delinquency like you guys did or anything like
we
that.
were not allowed.
No,
Oh,
we weren't
okay,
allowed.
well-
We just did it anyway.
Okay, well,
We found ways.
okay, well, either way, you know, there were, I wish I could have been rebellious like you guys.
It wasn't as easy to get away with, is what you're saying.
Yeah. I understand.
No, it's kind of more like, not the easy way to get away with kind of thing. It was kind of more like, if I ever showed a twinge of rebellion, I would be disciplined.
Oh, yeah.
So, I grew up on
strict,
that type
I feel
of
that,
thing.
yeah.
Okay, well, this has nothing to do with that. This has everything to do with the fact that, like, you know, it was just me and my mom, and we're in the house in Middleburg. You know, I told you about the house before. I think you've seen it.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
When we drove around the area.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my mom thought it'd be a good idea to make one of my favorite foods, which is like the kind of like, I wouldn't say fried chicken because it's not fried chicken. It's kind of more like you do shake and bake on the chicken and then you fry it on the pan.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
like
about.
a pan-fried breaded thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is one of my favorites because she does it right.
Yeah.
So we were having that, you know, she was preparing it, she was cooking it. Well, I'm watching TV, like I think I'm watching like Disney or something because that's all we had was like either whatever was on the TV or whatever we had on VHS because that was before the DVD era.
Oh yeah.
Or that's when the DVD era was becoming a thing.
Yeah.
So next thing you know, I'm smelling something.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, okay, what does that smell? Because my senses are heightened because of me being autistic.
Yeah.
So I go to wherever the smell is, and I see that the pan is on fire.
Oh no!
Because apparently my mom left the pan
Oh no!
cooking, thinking it was okay for a couple of minutes. Well, it's on fire, and I tell my mom, "Mom, the kitchen's on fire." She comes, she comes in, sees it on fire, opens the pantry. There's a fire extinguisher in the pantry, pops it up, did the fire extinguishing on the pan, and she's like, "We need to get out of the house. Grab what we need, get out of the house." Because that's when she called the fire department after we got out of the house. Because she did the extinguishing, called the fire department. They're like, "You need to leave the house because of carbon monoxide, because of the smoke." Because, even though you put the fire out, there's still poisonous smoke. We're like, okay, so we need to get out of the house. Well, we didn't need to grab everything and get out of the house because there was nothing else on fire. It stayed on the stove and everything.
Yeah.
Well, gotta grab the dog because we had the Cocker Spaniel.
Yes.
So we grab the dog, and then we get out of the house, and then by the time the fire department comes in, I'm like, "Hey, Mom, this is the effed up moment."
Oh, God.
This is the I fucked up moment. I was like, Mom, I think we forgot something. She's like, what? My sister's guinea pig.
Oh, no!
And she's just like, oh my God! And she's like, we can't go back in the house! So we're like, oh my God! We're like upset because it's just kind of like, we forgot, that was our effed up, but for me and my mom, that was our effed up moment is we forgot my sister's guinea pig was in the house.
Oh,
we
no.
were just thinking, we just need the dog.
The good news is that could have been so much worse. Like the house could have actually been on fire.
Oh, yeah, of course. But
I can
it was
just
just kind
picture
of
it.
like...
You're like out on the front lawn, and you're standing there, you got the dog in your arms,
Right,
and
a
like the
little bit of
smoke
Well, actually,
everywhere.
no, the dog was like right next to us on the leash because,
You got like the dog right there, your mom's like,
because
okay,
he just...
we got
Because
it.
he follows us wherever we go. He was trained that
yeah.
way. But it was just kind of like...
It's just
I
like,
had that moment
Yeah.
in my head where I'm like, why are we forgetting something? And fire department comes, they have to check everything in the house. And I'm like, Mom, yeah? Forgot Oreo. Who's Oreo? My sister's guinea pig! And she's just like...
we got this. We're on the front lawn. We got the dog. My daughter's safe. Everything's fine. You're just like, we forgot the guinea pig. And it's like that scene from the horror movie where like the Hitchcock zooms and what? It's like, oh God.
So after...
Oh no.
So the worst part is that after the fire department said it was okay to come back in, we go back in and we go to my sister's room because they had to check all the rooms.
Oh yeah.
And we went to my sister's room and Oreo is just laying there, not
Chilling.
breathing,
Oh no.
like
Oh,
just
no.
laying there. I went to go pick him up and he's dead.
Oh.
He died
Oh
of smoke inhalation.
Oh no.
Well, at first I'm like, we should take
It's
it
a
to
bad
the...
end.
I'm like thinking, oh my God, we should take it to the vet. We should take it to the vet. And my mom's like, there's
No.
nothing we can do for this
No.
guinea pig. And I'm like,
Oh,
Mom!
that's
It was my
so-
responsibility! I'm supposed to be the one to take care of the dog.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
the worst part was my sister was out with friends and spending the night.
Oh no.
So it's like, okay, I'm responsible for the pet, even though she barely took care of it. Whatever.
Really
But
fucked up.
it was just kind of like, Samantha's not going to be happy about this. And my sister gets home,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, well, I heard that you burnt the stove. Burnt the pan in the stove. Because
Yeah.
we had to toss the pan out.
Oh, wow.
But she's like, well, I heard you burnt the stove. And we're like, yeah, we also have other bad news. And she's just like, what? And we're like, forgot the guinea pig? And she's just like, she just had that face. Like,
yeah.
just like my friend's guinea pig that I adopted, which is even worse because she got it from a friend.
It just keeps getting worse.
And she's like, well, my friend's gonna be upset now, and I'm like,
God.
oh God. So she tells her friend that she got it from. So remember Oreo? And she's like, yeah. Well,
He's an Oreo.
Yeah, it's like he's not alive anymore. And they're like, what happened?
Well, there was a fire. He wasn't in it, but kinda, yes.
He didn't
was
die
kind
from
of-
the fire, but
It was kind of more like my mom took over on the phone, but she's like, yeah, so we forgot that the guinea pig was in the house and there was, smoke left over from the fire.
oh.
And she's like, well, at least he didn't die in the fire.
Yeah.
But it's just, that was bad enough. It was like, that was my fucked up moment.
Yeah.
I forgot
I
the
have-
guinea pig.
I have two stories.
Uh-oh.
Both of them you were actually not involved with, but were around for, and one of them is I almost
That's
fucked up.
Okay.
So I'll tell the first one where I did. I really did. So I had been planning, or both of us have been planning, for me to go to Florida to meet my future in-laws.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
I wanted to go see them. We're going to go meet everybody. And the whole time leading up to this, and it's like, I mean, you're going to have to fly. And it's like, yeah, I don't like flying, but I'll do it. I'll
That
suck
was
it up.
before
I'll do
we
it.
found out that the driving thing would probably have been a lot easier because
Yeah.
it's only 8.5 hours.
Yeah, but we were just like, okay, I'll do it. And it was like, you're going to have to fly. You got to go do this. You're going to stop in Atlanta. And it's like, I don't like it, but I want to meet everybody. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And the whole time, I'm like, I got this. I'm a man up. I got this. And they're like, okay. I get all the way to the airport. I get my stuff. I'm all there. You drove me to the airport and everything. So I'm checked in. And they're just like, hey, it's this plane. You're going to go here. And I was like, cool, man. I got this. And the lady's like, I'm just like, I don't know where my seat is. And it's like, I can help you. And I was like, okay. So we get on the plane and we're going past first class. And it's like, okay. And we go past second class. Okay. We're in third class. It's not the worst. remember the fucking wall at the back of the plane. The tail is right there. And I was like, I don't got this. I don't got this. I'm freaking the fuck out because it's like, look, man, I can do a lot of things. Don't put me in the back where, like, the whole fucking plane is like, and it's like, no, can't do that shit. Cannot do that shit. So I have to explain to these people, like, fucking hyperventilating. I'm just like, look, I am really not good with this. And they were like, no, it's okay. We'll put you in the middle of the plane. It's just fine. And I was like, I have to get on another plane. She's like, you tell them we'll help you. And I was like, okay, thank you.
Yeah, because we put them on a Delta.
The whole time.
And they are very sweet.
Yeah, Delta
people.
basically took care of me big time. The whole time I was like, gonna make a good impression on my in-laws, all this other stuff, do all this. I kept thinking, I'm gonna get off and meet, because your dad was still in, he was at the camp thing. So he wasn't gonna be there for like a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to. He went to North Carolina for youth camp.
Oh yeah.
So I'm meet
but he was gonna come back by the time he came here.
Yeah, so I was gonna meet.
Would that be a centrifuge youth camp?
So the youth camp that he is like a part of, that he actually works with, is kind of more like, one Christian youth camp, but it's like out in the mountains area. So they like do like horseback riding and all that type of stuff up there.
Yeah, sounds like a really nice place.
Yeah.
It is. It's very nice, especially the weather.
So, I'm gonna meet her mom first.
Yeah.
Yes.
And again, I'm trying to, in my mind before I get on this plane, I'm like, gonna make a good impression, just shake hands. Oh, nice to meet you, ma'am. Mm-hmm. I'm your future son-in-law. Meanwhile, several hours later, it's dark at this point. I'm getting off of the second flight that I'm fairly certain that these Delta seats, the armrests, have my fingerprints permanently embedded into them. How hard I was gripping this fucking seat, I'm terrified. I watched all of the Elton John movie. I don't remember a fucking thing from it because I was terrified the whole time.
Rocket Man. That was when.
I know it had something to do with Elton John, and there was music, and that's about all I remember. So
my mom finally did see that movie. It's good.
I was terrified the whole time, but I get off the plane, and again, I remember because we talked about this. She's like, I'm expecting. Meet this guy, my daughter's dating, I'm expecting a lot of things, and so you came down that jetway pale as a ghost, holding a bag, and I was just like, I don't like flying. She's like, do you need a hug? He's like, yes, please, thank you.
Yeah.
She said that made the best impression, actually. She was like, immediately I was like, human. And I was like, yeah, okay, God. I fucking hate flying so much, you don't even know.
I'm so sorry for that. So, recently I took my first airplane trip to help my brother out. He was living in Minnesota. By the way, evidently I was built for the cold because we got up there and I'm wearing like a little thin jacket and it's -3 degrees. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
I love it.
Right?
And I went to Connecticut under the same temperatures, and I was just like, one windbreaker will be fine.
That's right. I was like, look, I brought 2 jackets, long johns, everything. I get up there, I'm like, this is rather comfortable. It's so.
We just need to move north, apparently.
Nonetheless, so going up there, my first flight from New Orleans airport out, American Airlines, I paid for extra legroom, everything. Okay, I'm not afraid of fire. Thank God. I didn't know that until I got on it. So it freaked me out when I took off. And I was like, okay, I can handle this. Okay. Next flight, though, I don't know what the hell happened, but I went from a nice airplane to a freaking sardine can.
Oh, yeah.
And the small jet.
Uh-huh.
Yes, and me and the...
Been in those.
And thank God, the chick that sat next to me on the next flight, she was a little busy Mexican, basically teenager. And I'm up in there in this little bitty seat, and I'm just like squeezed up. And I'm like, if I ever get off this plane, I will pay whatever they want for a bigger seat anytime they want. $300, you got it.
Ain't worth it.
Me and that chick got along swimmingly, thank God, and we were bumping elbows and everything else, just trying to wiggle around and breathe. That's the part that I don't like. I want a little bit of personal space. I can't do that. I'm a little claustrophobic on that part. Mm-hmm. The one where I had space, I was cool.
The flight back.
I did fly on those small jets before because I was going to Japan.
Oh.
But they're like, we got to go from the Jacksonville to the DC airport. Mm-hmm. And we stopped at the Kennedy airport,
Mm-hmm.
which was a very nice airport compared to Reagan. Not gonna say anything about it, but from what my mom has told me, because she stopped at the Reagan airport before, and she's like, it's cleaner here. But we had to stop there because we had to go from DC all the way to Tokyo on the big plane.
Oh yeah, jumbo
But
jet.
when we had to go from Jacksonville to DC, we were in the small jet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it was just me and my mom, because I'm like, I can't imagine sitting next to some stranger in this tiny little jet thing, because I'm like, I don't even like planes, but and I got to see ice when we were flying.
Oh yeah.
So from DC to Tokyo, you have to fly so you flew more towards that way.
Yeah, you fly more northerly, up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're like, well, why don't you go the other way towards Europe? And I'm like, am I going to Europe? Because I'm not going to Europe.
Yeah, it takes longer.
And it's a shorter time frame. I mean, it's 13 hours, but it's shorter than if you went all the way on the other side. Well, I swear I think we saw Alaska, because I got to see ice and everything.
Oh yeah.
And I went to look on the map. I'm like, where the fuck are we?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we're going over Alaska. And I'm like, well, I see glaciers, so
It's either Canada or Alaska. That's
The flight back. This isn't really I didn't fuck up moment.
Yeah.
No, the flight back was extra fun. So that was around the time that the brace in the back, because there's a piece of leather that goes over the back of your boots that keeps the back end from tearing into the back of your ankle.
Yeah.
Well, that broke, and so my leg hurts, and I'm in a lot of pain.
You were on the phone with me when this
Yes,
happened.
and I landed in Atlanta.
He was cursing.
Oh yeah, I was
and
mad.
He's just all he did was just ask someone where he needed to go.
I didn't get to that part of the story yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So,
He's
I don't know
hurting.
where I'm going, because
Yeah.
Atlanta's a huge airport, and I don't know where I'm going, and the ticket just says, this gate. And I was like, I don't know what the hell that means, because I don't know where that is.
Yeah.
So there's this
he's
guy.
in pain.
Yeah, so I'm already not feeling good, and this guy's walking towards me, and I was just like, he works there, and I was like, excuse me, do you know where this gate is? And he's like, it's that way, you need to go. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, if I wasn't in a rush to get on this plane, I would beat the ever-loving dog shit out of you for talking to me like that. Like, fuck you, man. I'm already not feeling good. So that sucked. But the plane back into New Orleans was actually pretty good. The person I sat next to was really nice. But I think the best part of it was, I hate flying again. The best part was we land as we're coming in. I guess some people on there are from New Orleans. We land, and the plane hits the jetway, comes up, and then hits it again. And then at that point, we're down, and we're actually on it. And I, at first, am freaked out for the fact we just bounced a little, because that's not new to me. It's just like, well, okay, don't like that. And some guy in front of me just goes, damn, even the runways in New Orleans are all fucked up. I'm like, oh, fuck, you're too right.
That's the best damn call out I've ever heard.
That was great. I was just like, and he's right, though.
I think that was the one where you told me that, you were getting all hyperventilating and nervous about flying back home, and the pilot was talking to you?
Yes, the pilot actually stopped, because I was kind of freaking out, and I was trying to figure out where I'm going. And I was like, because I just saw this dude in a uniform, and I was like, do you know where this plane is? And he goes, oh yeah, it's this way. That's the one I'm taking. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was just like, he's like, you alright? And I was like, I fucking hate flying, dude. And he's like, no, it's safe. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine. So, he was really nice. I will say that. The time...
I think he told you, he was, once upon a time, did not like flying.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, a pilot, by the way.
Yeah.
Tells you, they're not
into
flying until they've, started actually doing it as a job. But it was just...
So, the time I almost screwed up, and I almost did. I almost got in a lot of trouble for this.
Was I involved?
No, but you were. I was at your house.
Oh, okay.
I was in Florida.
I think I know what it is.
I was taking over for. I was basically helping out, and I was cutting the grass for them. And I had bought these cheap ass sneakers because I didn't have any other shoes from Goodwill or something. Yeah. And one of the soles had just completely, the tread just peeled right off. So I threw that one away. And at one point I was cutting the backyard. This isn't even really a part of the story. I just really like this part. And the other one was starting to come off. So there's no grips. They're just smooth on the bottom. And the one of them was coming off, and I just like kicked my foot forward to be like, "Come off of there!" And it came off and went up and over the fence into the next yard,
into the bushes.
Yeah, and I was just like, "Uh-oh." And my favorite part, and this is my totally bonding moment that I knew that your mom was somebody I could totally get along with, is because like I told her afterwards, like, I think I have to go around because I kind of kicked it went up over the fence, and she was like, "Well, did anybody see you do it?" And it's like, "No." It's like, "Well, don't do anything. That's almost you." I was like, oh, "Okay."
There is no proof.
Yeah,
so,
really.
I'm used to, when I have to do yard work, it's my yard. I live out in the middle of nowhere. So I do yard work whenever I want. If I want to cut the grass when it's 4 inches tall, I'll do that. If I haul sticks, I'll do that. But they lived in a nicer neighborhood that had a homeowners association.
Suburban neighborhood.
Yeah, and they would write you nasty letters if you didn't cut the grass.
Which they did. They wrote a nasty letter to my dad.
Yes, and literally the day I was going to cut the grass. So literally the day he gets this letter. And is like, "We're cutting it now. It's fine, like, calm down."
Well, he actually came to you. He's like, "Can you do the lawn?" Because he's working.
I was like,
she's
"Yeah,
out.
it's no problem."
My mom's out, and I'm the only one home, but I don't know how to do the lawn.
Yeah, so I take care. I'm out there, and I had to tell them both later that this little silver car pulls up. And apparently it's the HOA. I don't know it's them because they're not really marked. But they call it.
No,
they real side-eyed me real hard because I'm cutting the grass. Now again, I'm used to. I cut my grass, my yard, my way, and I'm not. I don't like people when I'm doing yard work unless I'm working with somebody. Most of the time it's just me. So I've got my headphones in. I'm in my own world. I'm kind of doing my thing. And this car comes up and they're side-eyeing me real hard. And it took everything in me, and I almost did. I almost let go of that lawnmower, turn around, and what the fuck are you looking at? But I gave it right back to him. Yeah, it's like, I'm glad I didn't yell at them. But as soon as they went past, and I know they saw me, as soon as they went past, I stopped that lawnmower and just gave it a snip. What the fuck are you looking at? And I kept waiting, and I had to tell both her parents, like if you get a letter from them, like, "Your yard man is very rude." It was me. I'll totally own it. It's fine.
Yeah, well, that's because they told you, like, "Oh, that's the one of the HOA people." Or
yeah, they told me later it was them, and it's like I didn't know it was them. I just thought it was some creep staring at me. So I gave him the back look. It's like, "Oh yeah, that was the HOA." It's like, "Oh, we might be in trouble then."
Actually, I think the way my parents put it is like, Yes.
I don't know how they stop, and I was like, "No," they kept going. It's like, screw them. Who cares?
Yeah, literally.
Okay.
Yeah, they were just like, "We're done."
It was funny.
Oh man,
that was great though.
Oh, man.
I remember that because
really,
you
really
went
funny.
to come and tell me after getting a because you were all nasty.
Oh yeah.
After getting a shower, you're like, "Yeah, so I almost got in trouble with the HOA," and I'm like, "What the heck did you do?"
That was the same time. That was such a fun trip because we had all these weird bonding moments. Like, we had this drain that had to be, like, you have to clean it out, you have to do all this stuff, and I remember your dad telling me, like, it never works right. Like, it's always backed up or something like that, and I'm looking at it, and I was like, wait a minute, and I'm really looking at this thing. It's not fucking hooked up to anything. It's just a pipe.
Jesus Christ.
Like, well, that's why it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's just like, they never hooked it to the drainage system. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, really. I remember that. That was
too funny. And I was like, "You want to keep cutting it?" And he was like, "I guess."
Oh my god. Yeah. So we actually, with the storm coming the other day down here, a car or truck, whatever it was, stopped in our front yard. And I just happened to be home.
Yeah.
And I'm looking outside and I'm looking at this truck and there's no markings or anything on it. I'm like, what the hell is he doing out in front of the yard? What the hell is he doing? And he's just out in his truck and he's rummaging through things. I'm like, okay, it's about to storm its ass off any minute now.
Yeah.
And this dude just parked in my front yard, just rummaging through his truck. And as soon as I go to open up the front door, I realize he's there to actually clean the drains, because there's literally this big ass drain right there in front of my house where everything pulls into.
Yeah.
And man, he's just shoveling crap out of it. Leaves, cigarettes, condoms, everything.
Man.
It's just
Oh my god!
like, what the hell? What are y'all doing to your drainage around here? Jesus Christ. This is a subdivision. So hats off to those guys who actually have to clean that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, but it makes you wonder now, like, is it becoming California where, like, you just find used condoms everywhere? Oh yeah, really, but still.
Considering what I've worked in, where I've worked in, and stuff like that, I can tell you will find the weirdest crap in any building, in any given place, no matter where you're at. I have been in brand new houses, been in their attics, doing my work, and I will find bottles full of piss because they pissed off a contractor or something like that.
Oh my god!
And they'll be like, I'll show you, and they'll leave a full bottle of piss. I've actually seen where somebody left a full like styrofoam cup, and as soon as you knock it over, you disturb it, it's like the smell emanates everywhere. It's disgusting. So
I will say one of my other favorite times when I was there is, her dad had a bike that he wasn't using, it was a bicycle, and they lived in a subdivision that's like not too far from like a little block of stores, like a Publix, Walgreens, stuff like that. And I would just run up there from time to time to like buy stuff, and I like biking, you know, it's good exercise and all the other stuff, but I would go up there, I had like a little backpack and everything, and I think about the third or fourth time I did it, because I would go up there and just get stuff, and it's like, I'm just trying to do my little workout, enjoy myself. And I bought like some little groceries, some little stuff for us, I think it was like snacks or something, and I was putting it in the backpack, and this lady was walking in, and she was just like, she stopped and was like, "Are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm just putting my stuff in the bag." It's like, "Do you have somewhere to go, son?" She thought I was homeless.
Oh my god!
Yeah, no, I'm fine.
You didn't tell me that.
I didn't tell you that?
No! I had no idea.
You should be like, "No, you ma'am, it's perfectly fine. I've got snacks. The aliens are coming to pick me up."
I really, I had to fight myself so hard, because I was just like, you're not staying at home. You can't just talk shit to random people. You're going to get in trouble. And it's like, but it took everything in me not to be like, well, they don't have a lot of rooms at the inn, and I think I got about $2 for the next day or so.
You could have just...
Meanwhile, if she was there 3 days later, I was getting out of a Camaro with my mother-in-law.
Yeah, really.
The really sad thing is here, this is where me and you have this really twisted sense of humor where we'll do shit like that.
Oh, yeah, just because it's funny.
Yes. And then they'll see you a couple days later, it's like...
It's like, wait a minute.
That's right. You see.
Well, actually, like, I think you. Well, I know you told me like you ran into someone and you know they were wondering if you were okay. I'm like, oh, well, yes.
Yeah, they thought I was homeless.
Well, you didn't say that.
That's
You just said
funny.
like, oh, well, you know, some person ran into me and they wanted to know if I was okay, and I'm like. They do that because they're nice here.
Oh yeah,
you know,
they're very nice.
They were probably people we knew because we knew a lot of people in the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's really nice.
But we come back to Publix because you know it's
Right
me and
up
my
the street,
mom and then you, and I was like, oh, we gotta go grocery shopping. Well, I guess you saw the same lady because we get out of the Camaro
She
and
kind of gave me a look, and I was just
She
like,
gave-
hey.
she probably gave me the look, and she probably was like, oh, he's fine.
Yeah. Oh, he's not homeless.
Yeah, like
I'm just weird.
yeah, no.
You know,
They
why is
don't-
it weird that when you do stuff like that, like you like to ride a bike and you go to the bike? I mean, that's weird, especially like.
Well, we're such a
Well, they don't,
vehicle-centric person, you know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they don't like a lot of, especially the complex that we were living in, which was like a plantation place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The only time they ever see people on bikes is like teenagers and kids, not so much like the adults, you know, going up to the grocery store and grocery shopping.
Yeah.
The only other time they ever see people like that is like elderly, maybe. Okay, understandable. So for them, they kind of find it odd that a man with long hair is going to Publix on a bike.
This is true.
Yeah, in my ratty jeans and shit.
Yeah, and your ratty jeans and
Okay, see, that makes it a
stuff.
little bit worse, too.
Yeah.
I just look like a homeless guy.
I mean, you had a nice shirt, but it was the jeans and the boots and...
And I don't think I had shaved in a few days, so I already had like the scrub
Yeah,
guards.
he had the-
and just
yeah,
like,
he did.
Oh, he's like this poor homeless man. Meanwhile, I'm like literally living in a house down the block. It's like, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I just look bad. It's okay.
Yeah, you could have just said, I'm actually visiting, you know, my in-laws, and, you know, all this stuff, and it's like... Then it would have just been fine. They'd just been like, oh, okay, whatever.
The one time, this isn't like a we fucked up. We almost did because other people kind of saw us do this. We would go to her parents' church because we were playing Pokemon Go a lot, and there was a Pokestop right there. So we would just sit there, like, because her mom would like do like work there, so it's not
she worked at the nursery.
Yeah, so it's not like a service. So we're just there to goof off and like steal their Wi-Fi and shit.
Oh well, yeah. She didn't expect us to work at the nursery. I think it was on a Wednesday.
Yeah, she just kind of wanted to know if we were going to get out of the house.
Yeah, she didn't expect us to work at the nursery. She didn't expect us to go into service because she knows I don't do service.
Yeah.
We don't force him to do anything.
Yeah.
and
So
everything. So
that
she's
Wednesday,
like, if you guys have, your laptops or whatever, you could just.
oh yeah,
come goof off, basically.
We sat in we sat in this area where it had the tables and chairs, and that was like the best place for the Wi-Fi.
yeah,
And it was air conditioned.
Oh,
yeah, definitely.
So
it's like June or
and
whatever.
it was like
It's
close
Florida.
to the
You need
Pokemon
to-
stop because all he had to do was just walk down the hall
Yeah,
and just
so
come back. So it wasn't a big deal.
we're in there, and I think they were testing like their equipment.
Yeah, they were
So,
testing the sound and stuff.
Yeah, they have like the whole
in the worship
actual.
center.
Okay.
They have the whole actual where everybody sits.
Yeah.
But you can hear the speakers.
Yeah, the speakers are also piped into the hallway. So if
Okay,
you're like,
cool.
the idea, I guess, is that if you have to get up and go somewhere, you're not missing the service. You can still
Yeah,
hear it.
absolutely.
Makes
Or
sense.
for some people, they can't handle the sound in the worship center, so they sit out in the benching area.
Yeah, so
No, I
it
get
all makes
that,
sense.
yeah.
So they're testing the
Because
speakers.
it's very loud.
And I don't know who it was that was testing it, but they had him on. And at one point, there's a speaker directly over the table we're sitting at, and I just hear this loud voice go, "Can you hear me now?"
God.
That's exactly what I did.
He said that too.
I just looked up and went, "Lord," and she started laughing, and there were people coming in, like looking at us, like, "What the fuck are they laughing at?"
And I told him about the speaker system, and he's like, "I had no idea.
Yeah,
This is brand new to me."
Lord.
I'm like laughing hysterically, and everybody's looking at me.
You gotta admit though, you're sitting in a church, you're playing Pokemon
It's-
Go, and
It's
like
such a perfect setup.
And doing whatever on the computer, and you're just like, God?
Anybody would do that. Anybody
Yes.
would.
you should. I mean, okay, that's one of those jokes where I don't care who you are, that should be hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, at this point, I think we've told many stories, and we're
Yes.
about ready to end this episode. So, thank you all for being a part of this.
Absolutely.
If you're enjoying this, please do the social media thing, the like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you have any suggestions for topics, send them to my subreddit, or stories and other things, r/Moonhorse Stories. You can check it out. I have a Ko-Fi and a merch store. They help keep the lights on in here. We greatly appreciate it. And
Please
every
go
Saturday,
subscribe our Spotify, please.
yes, you can get this episode a week early if you subscribe to our Spotify. It's only like $5, so it's not that big of a deal.
Please.
If you would like to see us stream every weekend, we do that. So every night. And we'll see you in the next episode, everybody.
See y'all next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.